In my last episode, I brought you in behind the scenes of DIYing this cozy coffee nook. And honestly, completing that project has inspired me to start to take on and tackle more of the corners in our kitchen. And to do that, I felt inspired to go thrifting. And this thrift trip was very focused, like very intentional. I was going in looking specifically for kitchen decor. And I am so excited to start to clean them up and style them, which is my plan for today's video. So before we dive into that, let's take a throwback to our day thrifting. On this day, we headed to Value Village. I much prefer like a smaller one-off thrift shop, but when I'm looking for something specific, I find Value Village to be quite predictable, so I know what I'm gonna find. This pillow was cute, but I really had to ask myself, like, am I in the mood for another project? Because I don't always have the time or the energy to take on new projects. I also really like this red pillow, but I realized that this was a feather pillow, and so for me that's a no. I just can't wrap my head around why we would harm animals to create things for our home. Like, to me, there's nothing beautiful about that. I regret leaving these behind. In hindsight, they had a really pretty shade on them. I think they would have looked really good in our guest bedroom. And these, I really like these lights.
That's cute.
It is cute.
Let me think on them, but
These kind of match.
in the cart they go. Okay, this blue fabric stood out to me from a mile away. I also really like this one. The border specifically, I thought was really charming. This train for a little boy's room. Okay, now to discern.
This is a no. I thought about these.
When it comes to discerning, for me, a yes is very clear. It's like, yes, I love this. I'm bringing this home. The no's are more of a hesitation.
I half thought about this.
It's like I'm holding something up and I like aspects of it, but it's not quite the thing that I'm looking for. So when I feel myself hesitating, to me, that's a no. Similar is the items that I accidentally left behind. It's like when I didn't listen to my gut and it was a yes, but I tried to convince myself that it was a no. That on this trip was this piece of fabric.
Isn't that so fun?
I just thought it was perfect for summer on our outside table.
It does have a nice summer vibe.
I could also see it used for a headboard. First thing I wanted to get to was cleaning up these baskets. I knew exactly where they were gonna go, up on top of our cupboards in our kitchen. So I just was very gentle with them, cleaning them up. Warm water, mild soap, and a little bit of vinegar. I also put them outside in the sun. I find sun to be the best disinfectant for items like this. And I really love how they turned out. It's a new day. It's a beautiful Saturday. My partner took our little guys out for the day to give me the space to dive into some of my home kitchen projects. I made a list of some of the things that I have been bugging me about our kitchen, or just things that I thrifted that I want to dive into. So the goals today, I have a frame behind me, that hippo piece of art. It was originally a black frame, a wooden frame stained in very dark black color. And I couldn't figure out for the longest time why that gallery wall was bugging me, but spontaneously, it was late at night, I was like, I just have to paint that frame white. I think if I paint it white, it will look better. So I did that. I did a really rough job of it. I just was trying to get a sense of like what would it look like white, and I knew that I could paint it black or stain it or sand it back if I wanted to. So anyway, I just threw some paint on there, and I do like how the white looks, although it needs to be cleaned up. I have another painting over there. It's a cat painting, and I love the frame on it. So I'm trying to bring that same aesthetic over to this wall. The next thing is to clean our stools. My partner found these stools and they were in his apartment when I met him. I did spend some time cleaning up the wooden base of the stools. So I had sanded them down, and then I added a bit of stain back to some areas that were quite weathered. But the task for today is actually to clean up the tops of them. They needed my fresh. So I'm gonna do that. The bigger task, and why I'm in my painting clothes, is I need to paint this island, the base of it. We're gonna go with oat, which is the same color as our coffee nook. We're just gonna bring that into the island as well. But I kind of have an idea, then testing out doing a two-toned look with that. Like around the doors, the borders, doing that oat color, and then on the inside, a lighter version of that color. Like I've been pinning a lot of that over the past 2 or 3 years. Like I'm not doing it on all the cabinets, but I could try it on the island. I also want to make a cushion with these curtain panels. I'm thinking in the coffee nook, like on the seat, but also go on the bench where our table is. It's gonna be cute over there. And I had an idea for this base, like this lace. Needs to be cleaned. It has some yellowing, but I really like it. And I originally thought it would look really good. So on our dishwasher, it's a cabinet ready dishwasher, but we didn't put a door on it yet. So instead I just made it a simple little curtain. And I kind of had the thought to put this lace trim at the bottom of that curtain. But because we're going to be putting a door on there shortly, I don't know if that's really worth it. I also, on my list, I have this stand of some kind, but I grabbed it when we were at the thrift store because where our sink is, we just put in new wooden countertops, and we're trying to be smart about not damaging them. And I just thought it might be a cute way to upcycle this for the soaps, so they're not just sitting right on the counter and they can just be, lifted a bit. Kind of want to bleach it, sand it down and bleach it. I'm actually just thinking I have a whitewash, so I think I'm going to sand it down and then whitewash it. It's the same whitewash I put on the wallpaper. And then I also, in the same thrift trip, I thrifted these lights. They're $5.99 a piece. We need to get our electrician in to do some work in the kitchen. It's going to put an outlet where the coffee bar is and move some lights. My style, I find, leans somewhat vintage, especially within the kitchen. I'm really drawn to vintage, but industrial, utilitarian aesthetic. The things that have history and age. How I feel anyway is if you have too much of that, when I have too much of that in a space, it can kind of start to feel stuffy. And so I like to balance it with something that's more streamlined, something that just looks a little cleaner and a little fresher. So I need to figure out where these are gonna go. I'm thinking above my oven for 2 of them. And I was kind of thinking above my gallery wall, maybe. So I gotta think about that. I also have these frames. I got them on the same thrift trip. They're just like someone made them, probably out of like a trim or something. I have a command center where we have the family calendar and like appointments and whatnot. So I thought maybe I could use them there. I'm gonna clean them up for sure, and then we'll decide where they go. I got these as well on the thrift trip, and part of me wants to put them on the wall, but I do have 2 plates already on the wall. They have a lot of like sentimental value, whereas these don't. So let's get into these tasks. This is the combo that was recommended for cleaning the stools. So just like a regular dish soap and then an OxyClean. This is a cruelty-free and a vegan version of the OxyClean, which, and made in Canada. It's recommended to put the stools out in sunlight just because we don't know what they're actually made out of. We just want to make sure like the fiber, like they don't mold kind of thing once they're all wet. So while those dry, I figured I would take advantage of the beautiful sunshine and wash these curtains up so I can get them outside in the sunshine and also drying while I paint. I don't think the yellow's coming out. It's like an aged yellow in this lace, which is fine because it actually matched the fabric of the curtains better, but I want them to be clean. So super hot water, lots of soap, and I threw some vinegar in there too. I was just checking on my little guys, and they're doing well. They're having so much fun. So that makes me feel better too. Like as a parent, it's kind of hard to take the time, like to take a Saturday afternoon and do the things you want to do. But when you know your little ones are actually like they're having fun, then it makes it a lot easier. So they're good. I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah, let's paint. So I've been thinking about the two-tone thing, the darker on the outside and the lighter on the inside, and I think I'm just gonna paint it all out for now. Sitting here painting, I was thinking about this island. So my partner made this island, and it was when I was, I want to say 2 months postpartum or even a month postpartum. I was early postpartum with my second son. I remember the days, like I was in the living room with my newborn and my toddler on the ground playing, and my partner, he set up a workshop on the patio so that he could help me with the toddler at the time. And like anytime I see it, I'm like, right, this is from that era of our life. And I have such special memories attached to that era of our lives. Like just a really cool thing when I think about home and like what makes a nice home to me. It's a home that is full of all your favorite things, but equally like good memories. I think we're sold a lot this idea of like what is a nice home. But I think the older I get, and now that I have a home and I'm making a home and I'm making a home for my children, what makes a nice home for me is one that's full of like wonderful memories. And I think energetically too, being in a space that has wonderful memories, really important on the day-to-day. I struggled a lot in my first postpartum, and we had been in this home during that time. And so I had an energy clear and clear the space, the heavy emotions that were here from that time. And I really felt a difference afterwards. The things in your home, they're talking to you every day. And I believe that on like a subconscious level, that we're taking in our environment. Like if you have a bunch of unfinished projects around, that like on one hand that could be communicating to you like I'm a very creative person, I have, you know, lots of ideas, but it might also be communicating I don't have follow through, I'm not disciplined. And so you really have to feel in like what that means for you. But I know for me, the more I fill my home with things that have beautiful meaning, that remind me of the special moments, the more I feel like my house is saying like, this is your home. Like this is a good place. You want to be here. This has good memories associated with it. So I went a bit rogue last night, and I was thinking that I might, instead of pillows, like cushion covers that I had originally thought I would do, it's like, well, maybe I'll just leave the fabric as curtains. So I tried that, and it's cute. Like I actually think it's very cozy. It reminds me of like this aesthetic, and just think in this space, in a room that we're using all of the time, I just need it to feel a bit fresher. And I circled back to cushion covers. I found a tutorial. The title was, "There's nothing easier than this, sewing a pillowcase without a zipper." I also found one called 5-minute pillow covers. They look simple enough. They look doable. I might try to modify it because I want to use the lace. I'm going to prepare that now, and then tonight I'm going to sew those. I'm also going to finish cleaning this guy up. I originally thought I would sand it, but the paint's actually pretty good. I think I used a primer, and I was jumping impulsively into the idea of making this white. So I think I'm just going to add another coat of white and then use a glass razor to just clean up the inside of the frame. And then finally, the wooden stand that we're going to put over by our sink. I had my partner stand that down for me, and also the frames. So tonight I'm going to try to whitewash them, just see how that turns out. I'm going to end this video here. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me while I styled some of those thrifted finds and tackled some of my kitchen to-dos. Feels really good to make a list and tackle it. So thank you for being here. And in terms of next projects, in the kitchen specifically, we're going to be diving into the sink area and also the oven, like the stove and the oven area. I found these gorgeous Spanish tiles. I've had them in storage for like probably 2.5 years, just waiting for the right time. So I'm really excited to learn how to tile and also just like get those on the wall. Also, my next video, it's my 1-year-old's first birthday party. Take a minute to say hello. Let me know what projects you're working on in your home. If you're a thrifter like me, let me know what gems you found recently, and I will see you in the next one.